Carl and Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhbl.com for short, and it's Viva Pin. We're filled with fun because it's episode 23 of season 2, Hudsonly Ever After and Hudson Who-Stachio. Aired September 8th, 2007. You might be thinking, my God, if you've been following an order like we have and watching these reviews, that's another 2 Hudson segments.
Yeah.
And it was not going to complain, but my God, that's a lot of Hudson, right?
He seems to be the main character now.
Why not spread them around, though?
Yeah.
Like, why is it all jumped together? And I know the segments were obviously done separately and then put together to create them, but my God, I was surprised to see another two here.
It's almost like season 1 was like Fergie and Paulie, and now it's Hudson season 2. I don't know how they've done it, but
I have no idea, but here we are. 2 segments, as always. You know where this goes. We talk them through. Segment 1, Hudsonly Ever After. It is another Hudson episode, but no complaints because, hey, it's not Fergie. It's not in the island and Hudson is getting ready for bed, saying goodnight to his reflections. God, I like that. He gets into bed where a teddy of himself awaits, but he struggles to fall asleep. So what to do? It's a bedtime story, which Hudson tells his dummy. It's a story of Hansel and Gretel. The Pinata gang are playing the parts in Hudson's story, with Fergie being Hansel and Ella being Gretel. Their father, Paulie, and their mother, Franklin. You know how this goes. The kids go off to find some food in the woods, leaving a candy trail to show them the way home. They struggle to find anything, but eventually come across a giant dessert bowl, one protected by Tina and Teddy. As Hudson tells the story, his Teddy complains about it being lame, and he changes it to be more exciting. Now, because obviously I'm reading these notes as they're written as we watch. It's he's ventriloquisting that thing.
Yeah.
He's not, his Teddy isn't alive. He's doing a Hudson outside of his voice kind of thing. Hansel and Gretel try to follow the candy trail, but find it gone as Hansel has been eating the trail. To make the story more exciting, Hudson begins to randomise things. Eventually, it leads to them finding the candy house, one with Pester inside. Of course, he's in disguise as an old lady, because if there's one thing consistent about Pester, it's that he likes to dress up as a woman.
he does.
Fergie's greed gets the better of him, of course. Inside, Pester plans to smash them as per usual, using gloves of doom. Hudson's Teddy continues to complain about the story being boring, and Hudson starts to jam in even more threats to the point of absurdity. The Teddy now reveals what the story is missing is more Hudson. And you do that in context of Hudson pretending to be the Teddy and wanting more of himself in it. God almighty. Hudson now adds himself into the story as a dashing hero and superstar arriving at the candy house. Hansel tries to take back control, but Hudson keeps changing the story to stop him. Can it get any weirder? Because this is weird. Yes, Hudson adds even more and more of himself into the story. So more and more Hudsons appear, rescuing Hansel and Gretel. They all lived Hudsonly happily afterwards, Hudson falling asleep. Alas, for Hudson, it turns out that Fergie is making his own story and gets his own back in his dreams. Yeah, that's it.
Average.
Yeah, it's the Hansel and Gretel story done from a Viva Pin wacky thing, but it's just too all over the place. And it's like, this could have been any pinata. There's nothing special about Hudson at all in this. For me, it's a bit of a miss segment.
Yeah.
Hudson Who-Stachio, segment 2. Hudson emerges from the sea, having been at a party, and announces a return to the party in pinatas. But it seems that nobody cares, as it appears as no one really noticed he was even gone. He's been gone for a while, but as everywhere a pinata looks, they see reminders of him. It's hard for anyone to really miss him. So that's the point. It's like, we didn't notice because everywhere we look, you're around.
You're there,
yeah. Hudson wants to tell him all the story of his party experience, but everyone leaves, so ends up telling it to a starfish. What is it? Hudson was leaving for a party and enjoying the attention. That's it. However, at the party, it got upstaged by the kids' excitement over a new toy. At the party, nobody cared about pinatas. They found the new toy. It's Toy Story. He was left hanging up, and after freeing himself, made his own way back to the island slowly, because that explains why he came out of the sea. His story has put the starfish to sleep, and now he's freaking out, thinking he has lost his star power. Hudson goes to see Simone, and she doesn't recognise him, kicking him out. And I thought, it's kind of obvious what's happened here, right? He has a full beard. That's why, like, he's grown a beard.
Yeah.
Things continue to go wrong for him as he gets no calls and his stuff is repossessed. Depressed, he is now living out of a box and trying to get the attention of anyone that will watch. Even Beverly doesn't want to know him. So Beverly did pop up again. Yeah. There we go. Chasing a cab that has a rude pinata in it, Hudson sees a poster on its roof suggesting a movie about his recent perilous journey is being made. He figures he'd be perfect for the role, but we see other pinatas auditioning for it, and while they're aware of his journey, they think he returned and then disappeared promptly. Of course, the other pinatas are terrible at being Hudson, except the worm, who gets the part. There you go, worm getting his part. It's quite funny. The actual Hudson arrives though and finds himself rejected, but after begging, he's given a part. Back on top, Hudson slips back into his role, and everyone even gets tidied up in a makeup chair. And I got really confused here. I was like, wait, they all knew it was Hudson? What's going on?
Yeah.
The movie is made and we see the last scene that makes him look like a superstar. In the theatre, everyone cheers and Hudson declares that he's back. And my notes just literally say, so they generally forgot he existed? This segment is one of the most confusing ones I've seen in a while. I don't get it.
No, because I mean, the start of that episode, I think they missed a good chance there about the kids not being interested in the pinata anymore. They could have done something like, the pinatas have got to change themselves.
Yeah, like he comes back and reports it to them,
it's
and they all freak out and elements like that. But instead we do this weird thing with Hudson. And I thought it was so obvious that it was just going to be because he grew a beard. And while that's a basic bitch storyline,
it'd be typical of the show.
It's typical of the show, and it would make sense that when he's shaving in the chair, everyone's like, "Oh my god, Hudson's back! Where have you been?" That kind of thing. And that's all it had to be. But instead, we just do this thing where apparently everyone generally just forgot he existed.
Which just makes that just makes no sense at all.
It's weird as fuck, because even then, like, you could even do an angle where it was the fact that Hudson's become oversaturated, and it's not that they forgot existed; they're just sick of it because they'd see him everywhere they go and so on, or even do a thing where it was a doppelganger and taking his place. Go back to the past elements like that. Bring back the character that pretended to be him previously, and while Hudson was away at a party and taking so long to get back, this other person became a star. That kind of thing. It would have been so many things. Instead, we just got this really, really weird segment.
Yeah, very poor writing.
If I thought for a second, and it's not the case, but if I thought for a second that these shows are written in order, which is not at all. But if I thought they were, this entire episode with both segments prove they're running out of steam. Now, for all we know, these stories could have been written near the end. But it does scream it is well and truly run out of ideas.
Yeah, definitely.
Because doing Hansel and Gretel in a weird way wasn't very entertaining, and this second segment makes no sense. Which in Viva Pin should be fine, but when it makes no sense to this extent, there's nothing fun to enjoy here.
As I said previously, again, this is like the 6th or 7th segment now with no mention of the parties.
Which is good, I suppose. Yeah, we'd like to keep it away to the end, but we shall see. I don't know. This one didn't do much for us. Episode 23, Hudsonly Ever After, and Hudson Who-Stachio. You got any thoughts? You know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website, where reviews, news, and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.